Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog .stampwithelaine.com. Today's project is a jumping jack-in-the-box stored in a matchbox so that when you open it, they all pop out. The magic happens because of the elastic band inside the box. So I've made 4 here as a birthday greeting, but I'm going to update it because I made this some time ago. I want to alter the design a little bit because the box has to be very sturdy. In today's video, I will show you how to make a fold flat box without any glue. I've already made up 3 of the boxes in the Dinoroar Designer Series paper, and I've popped it in this box temporarily so that it will store them all in one place. It looks like a matchbox. I'm using the Dinoroar Designer Series paper. These are 12 by 12 sheets with 6 double-sided designs. So these are the patterns. The Designer Series paper, you have to cut 4 squares measuring 2 1/8 inches by 2 1/8 inches into patterns. So 2 each of each pattern for each box that you make. You can vary the size of your boxes as well. So if you want to put currency in the boxes as a gift, then you might have to size the box up or down according to the currency in your country. You can even use it to put photos on them if you wish, for special occasions or special birthdays. To construct the jack-in-the-box, you need 2 pieces, 2 halves to make up the one box. So this is 1/2, that's the other half, and this is what it will look like. So it looks rather like an arrow that's been cut off at the top. You start off with a piece of cardstock that's 7 1/8 by 5 7/8, and in metric that's 18.1 by 14.9. Bring in our scoreboard, and with the long side on top, you score at 2 3/8 inches and 4 3/4 inches. Rotate it a quarter turn and score on the short side at 2 3/8 inches, 2 3/4 inches, 3 1/8 inches, and 5 1/2 inches. So in metric that will be 6 centimeters, 7 centimeters, 8 centimeters, and 14 centimeters. I'm going to burnish the score line so that it will be easier for you to see on camera. So now orient your cardstock so that the short tab is facing you, closest to you, and then you want to cut up to the 4th score line. So from all the way from the bottom of the cardstock to this score line here. And you do the same for this side. Okay. Then you want to cut away. You leave a tab here, so there are 3 score lines here, and you cut on the middle score line. Then you mite the corners on these tabs. And on that tab as well. And then fold this back, and you want to miter the corners on this middle section as well. Should look like this. Bring back the scoreboard, and in order to make boxes pop, you need to put a cross in these two end squares. Okay, so I've drawn a chalk line all along the 6-inch scoring groove on my scoring board. So you line up your cardstock on this 6-inch groove line, and you take your scoring tool, swivel it, make sure it's on that line from this corner to that corner, and draw a line along it, and do the same for the opposite side. Line up the corner there and there and make a score, and you repeat for this side. It's these two top triangles, the outer triangles, that you want to cut off. So you're cutting from the bottom right up to the top left of that square, and on this side cutting from the bottom left up to the top right. The next thing you need are the rubber bands. I'm using these loom bands, which were all the rage at one time, and they're just tiny little rubber bands. So I'm using blue, so I'll take a pair of blues, and then I'll need an S hook. So that's an S hook. Now it's important that you fold this and score. This is going to be your inverted triangle. Okay, so that folds inward like so, and that goes back on itself, and this adheres to the box. But before you do that, you need to also cut. So let's turn that back, and you want to make a snip. There. So now your card should look like that. Okay, so don't forget, you need to put your rubber band on first. Then you pop your tear and tape on these flaps here. Take the backing tape off. That folds in, alright, and that goes on top of that middle section here, and this goes on top. So now you can manipulate your box to make sure it's in alignment, and that tucks into this bit here. You need to hook your S hook in to one of the boxes, like so. Fold the flap in, and it's this side of the flap that you need to put adhesive on. So now we'll assemble this half, so I'll just repeat it again so it will be clear. You fold that in and fold the triangle back on itself, so you have an inverted triangle. Same with this side. That goes in, and this folds in and back. Basically it goes like that. So now put tape on it. Join this together, join the boxes together. Now that you've got them with adhesive on the other half of the box, and you want to make sure that that's aligned properly. And I'm going to take the tape off these two strips to make sure that this is underneath, okay, and that's on top, and bring that forward and make sure it's aligned. Bend the box back and pull that rubber band up, hold on to it, then pull the rubber band from the other side and hook it, okay, then that will pop into position. So all you have to do is remove the sticky tape, backing tape from that, join the two sides together, and then you can fold it flat like so and press on it to glue it together. Now see which way this folds. So it's folding that way. So now it's time to adhere the designer series paper onto the box. So that's one of the Jack-in-the-Box boxes constructed, and then you can make as many as you want. Of course, if you do that, then you have to adjust the depth of your box, and as I said before, you need to size it up or down. The second method of attaching a rubber band, if you don't have the loom rubber bands or the S-hook, is just to snip a rubber band so that you've just got a stretchy rubber band. Now I'm going to stack my two halves of the boxes, one on top of the other, and find the middle, and I'll just poke a hole through it. Thread my rubber band through. Oh, the hole might not be big enough. So I'm just going to tie a knot on this side. Right, let's construct it. I've threaded and knotted the rubber band through one end, so I'm just going to take that off and assemble the box. So you don't want that to be caught inside the sticky tape. Now I'm going to join these boxes together first, and then thread this through the hole. Make the hole a little bit bigger. So you want a bit of tension in the box, otherwise it won't work. So I'm going to tie a knot on this end, double knot on this end as well. Just put that on first. So the tighter the tension here, the more your box will pop. To make the Matchbox base with the no glue type, I've cut this in Pretty Peacock, and it's 10 inches by 7.5 inches. That's 25.4 by 19.1. So first of all, you score at 1/2 inch. 1.5 inches and 2.5 inches on all four sides. So basically that's my template, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take up these 4 little rectangles at the end on the 4 corners. Next, I'm going to cut up this line to the 3rd score line. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 up until here, and do the same for the opposite side. And I also want to cut along here as well, so it's the narrow one at the end. We're going to cut away these little rectangles here. And miter the corners at the same time. I should have done it here. Then you also want to miter the corners on these narrow flaps here as well. Reinforce all my score lines. So I've got my ribbon, double it over, thread it through the slot, secure it with double-sided tape, and then before I assemble the box, I'm just going to take a wedge out of this piece here. Now that you can assemble it, bend that back, and you want to hold on to that because you're not ready to put it in yet. And hold on to this flap here. Get these tucked in like so. Hold on to that, and it's a bit fiddly because you sort of need to do several things at the same time. Right. Okay, so this still has to stay back. So basically, this goes down first on the long side, and then this flap here on the short side will go down, and that will hold the pieces on the side firmly in place. So there's a method in the madness. Use a bone folder to make sure it's all down properly. The wraparound will be an A4 length by 5 1/8 in metric. That will be 13 centimeters by an A4 length. We want to wrap it around the side here. To make sure it fits. And that will slide in and out easily. Just make a mark here, like so, and then just use your trimmer to cut. So I'm just going to put adhesive on here. And just stand it like that and make sure it's bonded and it still slides back and forth easily, which it does. And if it's slightly skew with, you can just trim it off. Now I must admit that this Matchbox no glue box base is really sturdy, and once it's down it's very difficult to reopen it again, and in fact if you do you could actually damage it. So that's the box to hold it. Just glued some designer series paper. I don't have the measurements off the top of my head, but it's just a 1/4 inch smaller than the surface of the box. Make your own confetti. So what I've done is use the pinking shears. This is retired, but Stampin' Up used to carry it. I just cut strips of cardstock like that and cut it one way and then cut it the other way, and I've got a pot full. So now you can assemble the I'll put these from its temporary home into here, and then on each layer you can sprinkle some confetti like so. And then it will make a mess everywhere. So I'm going to pop that one in next and sprinkle some more confetti on it, and then put this one that matches the box cover on last. And then so that's the idea of the box. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. It's just a bit of fun. I'm not going to open that one because I'll get confetti everywhere and it'll take me ages to clear it up. But it's ready to send to one of my grandsons for their birthdays. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye!